Welcome back to Curry Soup. Today we're going to be talking about how blood pressure actually works. We've heard so many people talk about, oh, I got high blood pressure, I got low blood pressure and all this stuff. Well, today I'm going to make sure you understand exactly what blood pressure is and how it works. Without wasting too much time, let's get straight into it. To explain blood pressure as simply as I can, let me just use a pipe as an example. A normal garden hose which we use. Let's say there's a pipe and the pipe is empty right now, you did not turn on the water. What happens when you press the pipe? It's going to go in, right? It's going to be hollow. Now let's switch on the water and all of a sudden the pipe becomes hard. And this is because there's water inside and the water is exerting pressure all over the wall of the pipe. And this is exactly what happens in the human body. The blood exerting force on the walls of the vessels is called blood pressure. Now, this blood pressure is going to be going high and low, up and down, according to the heartbeat. When the heart contracts, when the heart is actually squeezing blood, it's called a systole. A systole basically means the heart is pumping right now, it's squeezing right now. And this gives the highest blood pressure. So if you're at a doctor's visit and the doctor writes something like 120 or 80 for your blood pressure, this top number, this 120, is your systolic blood pressure. It means the force exerted on the walls when the heart is actively contracting. Now, when the heart relaxes, it's called a diastole. This is the lowest pressure exerted on the vessels. So this will be your lower number. So systolic pressure up here and diastolic pressure down here. And the unit used for measuring blood pressures is called millimeter mercury. The Hg actually means mercury. So this is because the device that they use to measure our blood pressure actually has mercury in it. You know, the one the doctor straps on your arm and then starts pumping awkwardly while looking at your face. Yeah, that uses mercury, and that's how they measure anyone's blood pressure. Just like how houses uses plumbing system to supply water to all over the house, the body does the exact same thing. We have our own plumbing system, just that now it's called a circulatory system. And just like a normal plumbing system, a number of things can determine whether the pressure inside the pipe is high or low. For example, what fluid is inside the pipe. If it's oil, it's going to exert a different pressure. If it's just water, it's going to exert a different pressure. Next is how much fluid is actually inside the pipe. If there's more water which has to go through that same pipe, it's going to be exerting a higher pressure compared to very few trickles of water. It's going to exert very low pressure. And third is how thick or thin the pipes are. A thinner pipe will be exerting more pressure compared to a thicker pipe. Same like a garden hose, if we squeeze the tip, it's going to be spraying further because the pressure just increased. Same concept applies to the human body. In the case of our body, for the first example, if the blood thickens, the blood becomes very thick, it's going to need more force to push the fluid through the vessels. So this will increase blood pressure. An example for too much water in the plumbing system exerting high pressure is our high salt diet. When we eat too much salt when it's inside the vessel, it's going to start pulling water from everywhere to fill up the vessel because salt promotes water retention. So this is going to be the total circulating fluid inside your body to be very high, which will result in higher blood pressure. And an example for how thick or thin the pipes are, for us humans, our body is very responsive. So let's say there's a fight, or something more relatable would be being chased by a crazy clown. So in these cases, our heart starts beating fast because we are in the fight or flight response. And in these cases, the body releases certain hormones, for example, epinephrine or norepinephrine. This will cause blood vessels to constrict. So when the blood vessel constricts, it becomes narrower, the blood pressure shoots up. All this small rise and fall of blood pressure, the body can handle no problem. Our pipes are very, very elastic and our CPU is very, very responsive. But the problem starts when the blood pressure goes to about 140/90 or more than that, and it stays there. This means you're exerting high pressure on your pipe all the time. When this happens, a constant high pressure on the blood vessel is going to cause the blood vessel to have micro tears. As usual, when we have a tear anywhere in our body responds to heal it. Let's say there's a micro tear here right now. The body is going to be sending components to heal the tear. So for example, white blood cells and other healing components. So when all these white blood cells and all come, they're going to start attaching themselves here. When this happens, the circulating fat and cholesterols will start attaching to it as well. And over time, this will form into a plaque. And a plaque is very, very dangerous. In case the plaque ruptures, it's going to form a blood clot there. So meaning more components are going to be adhering here. And depending on how much clot is there, it's going to determine how much blood actually manages to go through. This will also increase the blood pressure, and over time this plaque will make the blood vessel very hard and thick, and this is called atherosclerosis. So if the vessel is completely blocked, it's going to obstruct all the blood which is going to the other side. So whatever is downstream is going to starve. All the cells there which doesn't get oxygen will eventually die. And when this happens to an organ like the heart, that's where we get heart attack or myocardial infarction. And if this same scenario happens to the vessel which is supplying blood to the brain, we're going to be having a stroke. In case you're interested about stroke, there's another video that I did. I'll leave the link down in the description. In case you're interested or you want to know more, you can just go down, click and just watch it. Like all plumbing, let's say the pipe is burst in our house. We definitely call the plumber to come and fix it for us, yeah? The same thing happens to the body. Our plumbing system can also be repaired. And this is done through something called angioplasty. What they do in angioplasty is they basically run a wire through your vessels to where the clot is or where the obstruction is, and here later they'll push a balloon into it. Once the balloon is in place, they'll inflate the balloon so that it pushes all this to the side, restoring the blood circulation again. In some cases, they actually will insert a stent, which is like a metal pipe inside a metal tube to hold the vessel open, just so that the blood circulation is not obstructed ever again. And that's all the basics that you need to know about blood pressure to understand how it actually works. If you actually found this video interesting and if you found this video to be helpful, please do share it with someone, share it with your friends or anyone at all. Spread the knowledge. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, please do click the subscribe button down there and hit the bell icon. YouTube is changing its algorithm all the time, so we need to make sure that our videos actually come and reach you. Until another informative video, in anything you do, do your best and be the best version of yourself. Bye-bye.